The Passenger, Chapter 2, The Name and the Static. They didn't speak right away after the seatbelt clicked, not because they agreed to stay silent, but because conversation felt like it might lock something into place that was still shifting. The rain outside continued at the same steady pace, but no longer felt like weather. It felt like background noise that the world had committed to maintaining. Noah kept driving, or at least his hands stayed on the wheel while the road continued under them. Marcus was the first to break the silence. "We need to talk about what just happened." Noah didn't look away from the road. "Nothing happened." Kayla gave a short laugh. "Sure, nothing." Marcus reached into the back seat, picked up the Polaroids again. He didn't want to, but leaving them alone felt worse. His thumb ran across the edge of the top photo. This one changed. Kayla leaned in. The image now showed 5 people inside the car, not added awkwardly, not obviously altered. Correct, balanced, as if the photo had always been waiting for them to catch up to it. Marcus swallowed. This wasn't like this before. No one challenged him, because memory didn't feel stable enough to defend. The GPS screen flickered again, slower this time, more deliberate. A typing indicator formed on the map itself, like the system wasn't displaying information anymore, it was composing it. Then, words appeared. "Dylan is still here." Noah hit the brakes. The tires protested against the wet asphalt, and the car came to a hard stop in the middle of the road. The forest around them didn't react, it just continued existing at the same distance, unchanged, like it didn't care whether they moved or not. Jenna stared at the screen. "We didn't type that." Kayla shook her head slightly. "I don't think it needed us to." Marcus leaned forward, eyes fixed on the message. "It's not a glitch." No one disagreed, because glitches repeat. This didn't feel like repetition, it felt like acknowledgement. Something noticing them, noticing it. The silence in the car changed after that. Not louder, heavier, like it had gained intent. Noah restarted the engine out of habit more than necessity. The car obeyed immediately, like it had been waiting for permission to continue. They drove again, but the road felt less like a path and more like continuity. No markers felt meaningful anymore. No distance felt measurable in the way that mattered. At some point, Marcus spoke again, but more carefully this time. "Did anyone else feel something earlier?" Kayla asked. "What kind of something?" Marcus hesitated. "Like being referenced." Kayla turned slightly toward him. "That's a weird way to say it." "I don't know how else to say it. It didn't feel like I was touched. It felt like I was being mentioned." Noah glared at him briefly in the rearview mirror. "That doesn't make sense." "None of this makes sense," Marcus said. That was the first honest statement anyone had made in a while. The rain grew heavier again, not in volume, but in pressure against the windshield, as if the world outside was leaning closer. Then Jenna spoke, very softly. "I think it knows we saw it." Marcus turned sharply. "What does that mean?" Jenna hesitated. "Like it adjusted." Kayla frowned. "Adjusted what?" Jenna didn't answer immediately. Instead, she looked down at her lap, like she was checking whether her thoughts still matched her memory. "Us." The word didn't feel like a conclusion, it felt like a test. Then a sudden, unnatural voice came through the speakers. No static, no buildup. Passenger recognition, active. Marcus immediately reached for the dial. "Nope, no. Not doing this." Noah didn't stop him, but he also didn't react in the way he should have to something impossible, because the sound didn't feel like it came from electronics anymore. It felt like it came from awareness. The car's interior light flickered once, and in that flicker, The space between Marcus and Jenna was not empty. It was occupied. Not clearly, not visually stable, but undeniably taken, like something had briefly confirmed it belonged there. Jenna inhaled sharply. Marcus froze mid-motion. Then the light stabilized again, and the space was empty. But the absence didn't return to normal. It returned corrected too quickly, like reality had overwritten something that left the edges unfinished. A seatbelt clicked. No one spoke, not even Marcus, because the sound didn't feel like an event anymore. It felt like confirmation. Noah kept driving, but his grip on the wheel had changed, not tighter, more attentive, like the act of driving now required awareness of something that wasn't visible, but was participating. Outside, the trees remained perfectly spaced, too consistent, too patient, as if they were waiting for the car to finish becoming something else. Jenna stared at the window again, but this time, she wasn't looking outward. She was watching for consistency, like she no longer trusted continuity itself. And somewhere between 1 mile marker and the next, no one could agree on whether the road had always been this long.